Okay, let's dive into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a promise that honestly sounds a little too good to be true. Getting 5 hours a week back without stumbling into a massive lawsuit. We're talking, of course, about AI meeting note takers. You know them, they're everywhere right now, and look, it's for good reason. They absolutely work. But, as we're going to see, there is a huge, hidden legal trap catching a ton of professionals completely off guard. To really get why these tools just exploded in popularity, we've got to start with this number: 39 hours. That is the staggering amount of time the average employee spends in meetings every single year. Just to put that into perspective for you, that is more than 16 full workdays, like over 3 uninterrupted weeks of your year just sitting in meetings. And yeah, we all know not all of that time is exactly well spent. Actually, employees openly admit that 5 of those hours every single week are totally wasted on pointless meetings. 5 hours. And what's really alarming here is that this specific metric, the acknowledged pointless meeting time, has literally doubled since 2019. So you're looking at 260 hours a year per employee just evaporating into thin air. And when you zoom out to the whole economy, the sheer scale of this problem is wild. Unproductive meetings cost U.S. professionals an estimated $259 billion annually. Think about it this way. If you're at a company of, say, 2,500 people, your organization is bleeding up to $9.6 million a year just on meetings nobody actually needed to be in. It's just a massive financial drain. So here's the crucial point. AI meeting note takers weren't built to completely kill the meeting itself, right? They were built to eliminate all that tedious, soul-crushing manual labor that surrounds it. By handling the documentation, these tools mean absolutely no more frantically typing while you're supposedly actively listening. They put a hard stop to those endless, hey, can you send me the notes, follow-up emails? And best of all, they completely end that dark ritual of rewatching a Zoom recording at 1.5x speed just to figure out what you actually decided. Let's move into Section 1, what these tools actually do. Inside AI note takers. When we look at the actual mechanics of these platforms, there are 2 main technological approaches right now. And honestly, the difference matters way more than most people realize, especially in a professional context. On one side, we have bot-based tools. Think Fireflies and Otter. These actually join your call as a visible participant right there in the grid, record the audio, and dump out a transcript. But on the other side, you've got bot-free tools like Gronolet. Their whole pitch is silent capture. It works right from your device without any visible bot joining the call, using this clever hybrid model where your own typed notes are enhanced by the AI, rather than just entirely replaced by it. But regardless of how they actually capture the audio, the output is largely similar across the board, and it is a total game changer. You're getting a fully searchable text transcript and an AI-generated summary that's logically organized by topics or decisions. Plus, increasingly, these tools offer direct write-back, right into your CRM or task management tools. That means when someone says a vague spoken agreement like, yeah, we agreed to ship this by Friday, it instantly becomes an actual trackable deliverable rather than just getting buried in some Google Doc that literally nobody ever opens again. All right, on to Section 2, the 2026 tool comparison, the heavyweights. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how clearly each of these tools has carved out its own unique identity. Fathom has this incredible 5.0 rating and offers hands down the most generous free tier. Unlimited recording and summaries, with their premium plan starting around $15 a month. Then there's Granola, sitting at $18 a month, which is really your go-to for that silent bot-free capture. Firefly starts at $10 and is an absolute powerhouse for deep CRM automation. Plus, it supports over 100 languages, which is perfect for global teams. And finally, Otter is super competitive at about $8.33 a month, and its standout feature is live collaborative transcription right there during the call. So what a lot of really smart teams are doing now is combining these. They'll use Granola for client-facing calls where a visible bot might look, a little unprofessional, but then they'll fire up Fireflies or Fathom for internal syncs where team-wide search and CRM updates are what matter most. Okay. Now, I need you to completely drop that enthusiastic tech reviewer mindset for a second. We really need to do a sharp pivot here because there is a massive blind spot that almost no one is talking about. And the big question is, are these tools actually legal to use the way most people are using them? Which brings us to Section 3, the hidden legal risks, the privacy trap. Let's step into the somewhat sobering reality of state and federal privacy laws. Because the hard truth is that right now, a huge percentage of people using these AI tools are unknowingly violating the law. Here's the reality of consent laws. U.S. recording consent is simply not uniform. Currently, 11 specific states, and we're talking major hubs here, like California, Florida, Illinois, Massachusetts, and Pennsylvania, they require all party consent before a conversation can be recorded. Not just one person, everyone. And this is the absolute most critical detail. No jurisdiction currently treats a tiny little bot icon sitting in your Zoom sidebar as legally sufficient notice or consent. Under both state wiretapping laws and the GDPR, real consent requires true, informed agreement from everyone on the call about exactly what's being recorded, who has access to it, and how it's going to be used. And look, this is not just some hypothetical compliance handbook risk. It is a very real personal one. Take a look at this active federal lawsuit, Cruz v. Fireflies.ai Corp. This was filed in the Central District of Illinois in December 2025. The lawsuit specifically alleges that the tool collected biometric data from meeting participants without the explicit written consent required under Illinois' exceptionally strict Biometric Information Privacy Act. Now, to understand why a simple note taker triggers such severe laws, we have to look at what these AI tools are actually doing behind the scenes. They are generating what's called a voiceprint. A voiceprint is biometric data. It is legally comparable to a fingerprint. These AI tools have to generate these voice prints just to tell different speakers apart in the final transcript. And capturing that biometric data without explicit permission, that is exactly what gets companies and even individuals in some very hot legal water. But the risk goes even beyond just privacy laws. Consider the privilege trap. If you rely on these tools during legally privileged conversations, say you're on a call with your lawyer or discussing sensitive HR matters or talking to someone under a strict NDA, you risk compromising that legal protection completely. Why? Because some AI note-taking companies actually use these transcripts to train their own models. Inviting a third-party AI to listen in and process the text can completely destroy your legal privilege. Okay, let's move on to Section 4, the 15-second shield. Protect yourself. All right, let's bring the tension down a bit here. The good news is you do not have to throw your AI note-taker in the trash. There is a highly practical, totally free behavioral fix that fully protects you. It's called the Simple Consent Fix. And it takes, maybe 15 seconds? Here it is. Step 1. At the very start of the call, simply state out loud that you are recording with an AI note taker and briefly explain what it's for. Just something simple like, hey everyone, I have an AI taking notes for us today just so I can really focus on our conversation. Then, step 2, get an actual verbal yes from the participants before you continue. Do not just rely on that little bot icon and silence. Actually get the yes. Oh, and remember, if it's a super sensitive HR call or a legally privileged discussion, just turn the tool off for that specific meeting. It's that easy. So we've seen that these tools are undeniably brilliant at saving us hundreds of hours a year, but they clearly operate in a legal gray area that demands our active attention. So I want to leave you with this final provocative question to think about. As our workplace tools get smarter and so much more integrated into everything we do, are the 5 saved hours a week really worth the new privacy trade-offs? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and seriously, I highly recommend implementing that 15-second shield in your very next